This is a video you guys have been waiting for a very, very long time. I've had so many requests on this video, and that is the full shooting review of the $89 Rossi 410. Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode. Triple F Branch! Long-awaited video. You guys have been requesting this, and that is the after shooting review of the $89 Rossi 410. I'm going to go through some things, the things I don't like, the things I really like about the gun. So we're going to do a full in-depth review of this thing. First off, price range. You would be an idiot not to buy a $90 gun. It doesn't matter if it's good, bad, ugly, awesome. Does not matter. A 410 was something that I wanted for quite some time, and it was just I'm really a big fan of the 410 caliber. I like the size of it, number one. Just it's more of an interesting caliber than anything. And the second thing with this gun that I was very, very impressed with, it comes with a 28-inch barrel. That's the same length that is on my Winchester SXP, and I'll do a side-by-side comparison to show you guys the size difference between the two. Third best thing about this gun, comes with a mod choke. It's an integrated mod choke. So the integrated mod choke with a 410, obviously, I don't really necessarily have to say this, but going from a 12 gauge to a 410, you got a lot less pellets in the same shot. The only thing I was able to find in this gun in 3-inch, let me back up. The fourth good thing about this gun is it's chambered in 3-inch. It's not only 2.5. This is a 3-inch gun. Winchester SXP is the same thing. It's a 3-inch gun as well, and I was always only able to find 3-inch shells and 6-shot. I prefer to use 7-shot, obviously, because you get more pellets. Get a better chance of hitting the bird. But I've killed 2 doves with this. I want to take it out again and really, really get a good feel for it and really be able to use it in places where we can get birds a little bit closer, and I'll get into that here in just a second. So with it being a 3-inch gun, plenty of power. 28-inch barrel, even better, plus a mod choke. Aesthetically, this gun is freaking awesome. I'm going to put it right up there with being as competitive to anything else, such as Winchester and Rossi, or Winchester and Benelli and stuff like that. As far as quality goes, only time will tell on this gun. Disclaimer. Just because this gun was really, really awesome out of the box doesn't mean your gun's going to be the same thing. I may have gotten my hands on a pristine gun, the best one to come out of the factory. Just because I've had a lot of luck with this doesn't mean the gun that you buy is going to be just as good as this one. I'm not sponsored by Rossi. Nobody sponsors me. I don't even get paid by YouTube to do these videos. I do this video for you guys. Just because this gun was good for me doesn't mean yours is going to be just as good or even work at all. I mean, it's $90. It's less than a $100 bill. You give somebody $100, they're going to give you money back to purchase this gun. But that was one of the big things. It's like $90, we're going to try it. If it's bad, I'm only out $90. As far as it goes, I'm thoroughly happy with this gun. We're going to set all that off to the side and go over the bad things. Number one's a single shot. You get a group of birds come in, you're only realistically going to be able to get one. Number 2, I gotta grab my other gun for this. If I can get it in the camera, you guys can see the size difference on these 2 guns. The Rossi is significantly smaller than my Winchester SXP. 28-inch gun, I'm pretty sure this one's 46.5 inches long, something like that, but to the end of the barrel. So Rossi 410, I'm 6 foot tall and my arms are longer than average, and I'm going to try to hold it up so you guys can see. Holding the gun like this, if you guys can see the bend in my arm, it's pretty crazy. I mean, you're pretty tight up against the gun. It's a pretty tight gun to hold. Now, excuse me. I usually take my finger and put it on the front of the forearm. That gives me a little bit more range. Feels like a little bit more control, but running a 3-inch shell. If you guys didn't watch my 410 Dove Hunt Challenge, it blew the gun out of my hand. Now, if I could figure out some way to put a forearm or a foregrip on this thing, a vertical grip that comes straight down about right there without obstructing the bead or anything like this, I would probably use this gun way more often. About right there would be perfect. You still get your range of motion, you're not compact, you break it. Boom. A couple other things with this gun. This is something you guys may not normally have to deal with, but the sling nuts here, but the sling bolts, or whatever you want to call them, the sling mounts, normally, like on my Winchester SXP, they're drilled all the way through. So you can actually, it's a sling, you slide it up, it's kind of like it's got a channel in it, like a U channel, and then you thread a really long screw through. It's a thumb screw that you screw all the way through. It wouldn't take nothing to put these in a drill press and drill them the rest of the way through, and you can use a sling like that. Now, I mean, this gun, it's super light. Like, I don't have a scale around me, but I'm going to take a wild guess and say this gun probably weighs 5 pounds. This gun is ridiculously light. It's nothing for me to carry it out into the field without my arms getting tired or anything like that, or to hold it up. I'm getting paint down into my barrel. So this gun's super light. It's full synthetic stock. Forearm and stock are both synthetic, but not to get off on that tangent just yet. You cannot use a normal sling for this. You actually have to drill these out. That was one thing I was a little bit unimpressed with. Now I get it, $90 Rossi. It did come with these loops. It's like the D-ring or whatever on both ends of the gun. I took them off because I don't use the ones that actually thread it through and then rethread it. I like the ones that actually have the thumb screw. Now we're going to get into the most impressive part of this gun. I was thoroughly surprised at how well the trigger is on this thing. Like I said, disclaimer, just because mine is ridiculously smooth doesn't mean yours is going to be the same way. This thing has a super, super short trigger pull. The trigger pull weight's probably maybe 5-6 pounds. Super light, and it's a super short trigger pull. I'm going to see if I can give you guys a demonstration on that. I'm going to clear it, make sure it's clear. It's clear, closing it back up. Cocking the hammer back, taking it off of safety. Let's see if I can get this right for you guys. The trigger doesn't even move backwards when it breaks. So I'll do it again. So I'm starting my squeeze right now. The trigger on this gun is insane. I didn't think that it was going to be that good. I was like, well, it's probably going to be like a 10-mile trigger pull, and it's probably going to be 116 pounds. No. This trigger is actually better than my Winchester SXP. That was a $400 gun. This thing, the trigger in this Rossi, is way better. So a couple of modifications I've done to it, which not really a couple. It is and it isn't. Took the split rings off of here, the D rings, whatever you guys want to call them. I have not drilled these yet, just because I don't think it's necessary for me to go and buy a $20 swing, But I don't think it's necessary to buy a $20 sling to put on this gun. I don't need it. I really don't. It's light enough. I can throw it over my shoulder. Hell, you could put the damn thing in your pocket, and you probably wouldn't even notice it's there. The second thing I did, hopefully I can get this in here too. If you look at the bottom of this ejector, I'm going to do my light. Maybe you guys can see it a little bit better. If you look towards the bottom of this ejector, it's actually kind of a rough, like pitted surface. If you look towards the top, you can see where it's like really shiny. This whole ejector was that pitted metal look. Now, as you close it, that actually rubs up against where the firing pin is. I guess you could call this the breech. I don't have a lot of knowledge about guns. I know how they work. I know the safety behind them. I'm not going to get into that, but where the ejector touches the breech, because as you close it, the ejector closes, which shoves the shell, the brass part of the shell, the rest of the way in the gun. So it's kind of channeled on here. So the ejector grabs it and helps pull it in, and then everything seats to where it's safe. So in order to make this a lot smoother to close, I'll show you guys that again. Really, I'm still really impressed with the way this thing closes and how smooth it is. Not a lot of pressure. Did you guys hear how smooth that was? All I did was I took a Dremel with a wire tool, or the wire brush on it. I kind of heated it up a little bit, I guess you could say, with a wire brush. Kind of got most of the rough surface on it. And then I took a diamond file. Very, very carefully run a diamond file across it. It's got to be flat. Don't use a rounded one. Don't use a square one. Use a flat one and get it as flat as you possibly can across there. Once you get done with that point, you can either put oil or water. You can, you guys choose what you want to do. I know water and metal doesn't mix, it creates rust. You can gotta tell me in the comments. Take some wet and dry sandpaper. I think it was, let's say 600 or 800 grit. I think wet and dry. It's pretty worn out, so it's more like 1200. Just keep doing that down until you get almost a mirror finish on it. I'm using a GoPro, so you guys can't see the fine details. I'd love to get a big camera, but I'm not that much into YouTube to really be able to show you guys some close-ups or anything like that. Grind that down and breaking the gun. Way smoother operation. And this is one-handed. The brake right here, the brake button, smooth as silk too. You gotta put a little pressure on it, but it's not worth turning the pins out and trying to smooth that thing up. Other than that, this gun for $90, I suggest you guys go get one. It's $90. If you don't like it, you're out $90. Hand it down to your kid or your nephew. I don't have any kids, so it's my gun. I'm going to keep it. I am 100% in love with this thing. You guys don't have to listen to me, but I have OCD. Whatever I have, I want it to work perfect, or I'm not satisfied. This gun, for what it is, and for the $90 I paid for it, this gun is awesome. I suggest you guys go get one. Like I said, you get it, you don't like it, you're out $90. So that's really about it with this gun. Go get you one. You're not, as far as I'm concerned, you're not going to be displeased. Now, bigger guys like me, it might feel a little bit like too cramped for you. It's a 410. You're not going to go out and get a full sight. You're not going to get a 410 that's the size of a normal 12 gauge. I don't know if this is a youth gun or not. I want to say that it isn't. I don't think this is a youth gun. I'll say one thing, this thing kicks way more than my 12 gauge. I plan on bringing you guys a lot more dove hunting videos with this thing. I like challenging myself. Not that doves aren't hard enough to hit as it is. I should have done a YouTube video of it. Me and Dustin had a new place that we were hunting for the first time in my life. I started dove hunting last year, so it kind of doesn't really count, I guess. I've been squirrel hunting for a long time. 25 now. I probably started squirrel hunting when I was like 15. I've never limited out on anything. Saturday was the first day I've ever limited out on anything. And I got 15 doves. Dustin got 11. I wish I would have made a YouTube video of that. Goose season's coming up, and the spot that I killed all those doves, there are geese flying around there. So I'm going to be bringing you guys some waterfowl videos as well. Next time I go out there, I think I'm going to create a dove hunting video. I'm going to take the 410 with me. I'm taking the 12 gauge with me. The reason I'm taking another gun, if we got a bunch of birds coming in, and I just absolutely cannot hit them with this thing, I'm going back to my 12 gauge. Doves are way too good to let them fly by and basically waste a day out in the field. Before I go, I want to show you guys something. So this was something I've been wanting since last dove season. It's not that I didn't have the money to do it. I was just a little iffy. I was like, I really don't feel like I need it because I don't think it's really going to work that well. I will be bringing a review of this as well. And that is the Mojo Voodoo Dove. I'm not going to sit here and swear by it. I use this thing at the same place I did a lot of my dove hunting videos. Worked pretty good. I'm gonna say it was bringing in about 50% more doves within shooting range. Like, okay, it works, but it doesn't work 100%. Nothing ever will. Nothing that you ever buy is going to work 100%. But this past Saturday, when me and Dustin I limited out, Dustin got 11. We had this thing out in the field. And I never thought that something as simple as this was going to work the way that it did. This will be for another video, but this thing, I have a lot of great things to say about this. A couple of bad things, a couple of good things. But we're going to leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe to this video and to my channel. And we'll see you again. Triple F range!